Okay, we are factoring this polynomial. So in the second unit, we were multiplying, and now we're going the other way, we're factoring. So when you factor, you take your first and your last. So this is just x squared, so it's 1x squared. So we multiply those. 1 times 28, which is just 28. And we're going to look at all the factors of 28. So think of numbers that multiply to 28. I have 1 times 28. 2 times 14. 4 times 7. And if you don't know your factors, just use your calculator and start dividing. 2 and 14. 3 is not a factor because it's a decimal. 4 and 7. And then once you get back to 7, you're done. Okay, so I have these two numbers that I need to use. I have to pick one, and I decide which one by looking here at my middle number. It's 11. So when I look at these three, I can see that 4 plus 7 is 11. So I'm going to use those two numbers to factor. Okay, so 11 is really 4x plus 7x. See how all I'm doing is I'm rewriting the middle. So 4x plus 7x is 11. And now I'm going to do this thing called grouping. Okay, I'm going to group my first two and my second two and take out a common factor. So when I look at my first group, I can see that both of these have an x. So I'm going to factor out an x, which means I'm going to take an x and write it in the front. And I'm left with x plus 4. And then here, my 7x plus 28, I am going to factor out the greatest common factor. So 7 and 28 both divide by 7. So I'm going to bring out a positive 7, and I'm left with x plus 4. Now I hope this looks familiar. This is what we do when we multiply. If I were to multiply x plus 7 times x plus 4, remember you would split the first one like this, x plus 7, and then you would write the second binomial twice, like this. And then you would multiply. So x squared plus 4x plus 7x plus 28. And then the middle two would add to 11, which is this. So from this step, I would write the x plus 4 just once, and then what came out, what we factored out, our greatest common factor, becomes the other factor. So this in factored form is x plus 7, x plus 4.